Welcome to another trigger point release class. So for this class you need a few toys. We need our trusty foam roller, or remember, if you don't have the foam roller, to get a couple of big bath sheets and roll them up really tight to try and make quite a firm roll. You need your soft Pilates ball, you need your soft spiky balls and your strap. So those are the things we normally have. But also today we're going to do a couple of other little movements that you can use your foam roller for, but I want to give you some options in case this is too intense. So it might be an idea to have just a roll towel, just a single roll towel, or if you have a half dome, you could use your half dome. And if you have a bolster, you know, one of the big soft Pilates, big soft yoga bolsters, maybe you could use one of those. It's nice to have kind of a selection and a range of things so that if you try one and it doesn't feel right for you, you can quickly switch and try something different. And as always, we're going to start lying down on our roller. So as always, we're starting up lying down. So just lying down on your roller or your towels and allowing your body to be just as relaxed as you can here. Just finding a position that feels comfortable for your arms. You can have them on the floor, wherever. And then just trying to focus on your breath and on not holding a lot of tension and tightness, trying to let yourself just be as soft and as relaxed as possible. Maybe slowing your breath down. Scanning through those hot spots of tension that we all have. Checking in, softening. And then if you feel stable on your roller and that you're not going to roll off, so if you can bring one hand onto your chest and one hand onto your belly as we just focus on our breath here. Now if you feel like you're going to slide off, then just pop your hands back down on the floor. But sometimes it's just nice to connect to our breath, just to feel that movement of our body and that gentle rise and fall with our breath. And then we're going to start to move our head today. So can you just gently nod your chin towards your chest? And then just gently lifting your chin towards the sky. Let's just go really nice and slow. Nodding your chin towards your chest. And then lifting gently towards the sky. Remember, you can always pop a towel under your head if that roller feels a little bit hard. And then just pausing with your head in that centre position, can you gently turn your head to one side? It doesn't have to go far, in through centre and over to the other side. So just really gently moving from side to side. Coming back in through centre now. So place your hand just on your chest, so just below your collarbones, and can you gently just pull the skin down? So you're just gently creating a little bit of traction. You're just gently pulling the skin down a little bit, and then can you go back to that gentle nod of your head here? And just noticing any tension in the tissues around your neck, around your jaw. As we gently nod, and then lifting that chin. Bringing your head in through centre. Let's keep that gentle pull, that gentle traction as you turn your head side to side. Good. And then just pausing in the centre there. Let's take this hand that we've got on our chest and move it across your collarbone to kind of find the point where your shoulder and your chest meet. So it's just to the inside of that arm. So you're not quite on the arm, you're just onto the chest. And then just with your fingertips, just apply a little bit of pressure there. So we're just kind of pressing in there. And then I want you to turn your head the opposite way. And then just hold it there. So that hand that we're pressing into the little shoulder with is going to stay there. And then the hand that's being pressed, or the arm that's being pressed, let's take that out to the side, out to that kind of T position with the palm facing up. And our heads turn the opposite way, and we're just taking some breaths there. So you're in control, you don't have to press on really hard, you don't want to be leaving any bruises there, but just applying a little bit of pressure. And then gently bring your head in through centre. And obviously we're going to do the same on the other side. So let's take that other arm out to a T, palm faces up. And then let's find that little point on this side where the arm and the chest meet. So it's not quite on the arm, it's just to the inside there. And then again, a little bit of pressure, just pressing in with those fingertips. And then gently turn your head the other way. And let's just hold here. Take a few breaths. Good. And then when you're ready, let's release that arm. So let's have both arms back down to the floor in that T position, palms facing up, and then just gently bringing your head in through centre. Again, take a moment to just roll your chest and shoulders open. And if you feel happy and balanced on your roller or your towel, we're going to do our leg slides here. So we're going to just slide one leg out, long on the floor. Once that leg is out fully straight, we're going to push out through our heel, pulling the toes back towards us, just taking a moment there, and then gently sliding that leg all the way back in. Same on the other side, sliding the leg out long. Once the leg is out straight, push out through your heel, pull the front of the foot towards you, and then gently slide it back in. Now if you feel super wobbly, feel free to turn your hands over so that you can press your palms down to stabilise. But if you feel okay, we're going to keep going here, pressing out through the heel, just pausing for that moment, and then drawing that leg back in. Let's do one more on each side. And then as you bring your leg in after that last one, just pause there for a moment. And we're going to gently ease ourselves off our roller or our towel, but keep it close. We're going to go back to it in a moment. But just roll it out of the way so that you can lie down and allow your body to just integrate that sensation of that release all the way down. You can straighten your legs out long if that feels nice for you. Just take some breaths here. Okay, now this might be where we need to play around a little bit. So you can try it on your roller first, but it's quite an extreme position to be in, so it might be too much on the roller. So you can use rolled towels, you can use a bolster, you can use your half dome. So feel free to have a play around. To get into position, we're going to stay on our back and we're going to place our roller or our towel, whatever we're using, kind of under our legs. And it's going to go acrossways this time. So instead of being lengthways up your spine, it's going acrossways. And we're going to end up with it under our pelvis so that our pelvis can tip backwards, yeah? So pressing into your heels to lift your hips and then just bringing that roller, whatever you're choosing to use, under you, and then kind of let your pelvis roll back so that your pubic bone is higher than your hip bones. So like I say, it is quite an extreme position with the roller. Try it, and if it's not right for you, grab something else. Bolster. Bolster's nice because it's soft. Towels are nice again because they're nice and soft. Half dome, you can have it flat side or rounded side. Once you feel like you're okay there, we're going to stay here. And if at any time you need to come off, then obviously just do that. It's absolutely fine. So just giving our body a moment here to just kind of settle. And then we're going to keep our feet on the floor to begin with, but just kind of let your knees just kind of roll gently to one side and then the other. Very small, doesn't need to be big. If you feel like you're sliding off your roller, you can kind of place your hands on your roller to just kind of hold it in place. So it's a little bit intense if you're on a roller because it is so hard, and we're kind of rolling across our sacrum, kind of that your tailbone. You might feel a little bit like, ooh, it's a very strange sensation. Okay. And then pausing when you come into centre, we're going to lift one leg. So nice and soft, just lift a leg, keeping it bent, and then just hold in there. And then we're going to start to straighten that leg out. Doesn't need to go fully straight, but straighten that leg out. And let's point and flex our foot here a few times. And then keeping that leg up in the sky, can you bring that second leg up without rolling off your roller? Can you bring that second leg up? And then we're just going to slowly lower that first leg down to the floor. Let that foot come all the way down to the floor. And again, we're going to point and flex this leg. Good. Let's float that second leg back up. So we've got both legs up, and we're going to cross our ankles over and bend your knees. So bringing those knees in, keep hold that roller. And you can bring those knees in as deep to your chest as you want to. You can keep them further away if you want to. Again, our pelvis is kind of rolling back. And we're going to hold here. Good. And then we're going to release those legs. We're going to let the legs float down to the floor one at a time. And then once those legs are down, we're going to again just gently rock those knees side to side. Good. And then pausing in the centre, we're going to push into our heels to lift our hips so we can take away whatever we've got underneath us and then just lie down. Again, you can straighten your legs out long. And just pause there for a moment. Again, just letting your body integrate, just letting it feel that sensation of relaxation and softness there. And then we're going to gently bend the knees in. We're going to have feet and knees together, feet flat on the floor, opening your arms out to that T position. And we're going to allow our knees to roll gently to one side. Coming in through centre and over to the other side. We're going to go gently from one side to the other. Rolling across our tailbone. As you come in through centre this time, let's take the feet wide. So feet are going to go to the edges of your mat.
Same thing here, knees are going to roll gently to one side and then the other. We're in those little windscreen wiper legs position. Just getting a little bit more movement into our hips. And it might feel nice to let your head roll the opposite way to your knees. And then just pause in there. We're going to bring those knees in, picking your knees up, give your knees a little hug, and let's just rock here for a moment. Okay. And then we're going to roll over. So we want to have with us now something that we can prop the front of our pelvis up with. So you can use your half dome or a roll towel. The foam rollers would be too high for this, it would make it too steep of an angle. So whatever you've got nearby, and if you haven't got either nearby, you can roll your mat up. I'm going to go with a towel, just because the half dome sometimes just feels a little bit hard. And we're going to have our hip bones on the edge of the towel, or whatever you're using, and your pubic bone off, so that your pelvis is tilting the other way this time. So let's find that position. Hip bones are lifted. Pubic bone is tilted down. Yeah. And then you might choose to come all the way down to rest your head on your hands if that feels good to you. You might choose to stay upon your elbows. I like to be on my elbows. You've just got to make sure here that you're not dumping into your low back. So if you're a rib thruster, it's tempting to kind of just let your ribs drop, and that just really creates a lot of tension here. So making sure that we're not dumping into our lower back. So it's an iliacus release. It's one of the hip flexors that runs across the front of your hip joint. It tends to be very tight if we sit down a lot. So this is a really nice way to gently release the front of the hips. You just need to hold here. Deepening your breath, finding that softness, finding that little bit of relaxation here. And if you find that your pelvis keeps tilting and that pubic bone's coming further and further towards the floor, that's good. That's a really good thing. You might choose to have your legs close together or wider apart. If you're tight through your lower back, wider apart's usually more comfortable. I tend to go wider apart, that just feels a little bit better for my back. But try both and see what feels right for you. And then we're going to do a little bit of movement here. So come all the way down. So rest your forehead down on the floor and then have your hands in that stop position, maybe just a little bit wider than your mat. Resting your forehead down on the floor. And then from here, on an in-breath, we're going to lift into like a little cobra position. So we're going to press the hands into the floor and lift your head and your chest away from the floor. And then we're just going to lower back down again. We're going to do that again. So pressing your hands into the floor, we're going to lift. And we're going to lower back down again. Staying down this time, we're going to bend one knee to bring your heel towards your bottom. And then lengthen that leg back out again. And as that leg comes down to the floor, we're going to lift our body to come up into that little cobra again. And then we're going to lower down. And we're going to do the other leg. We're going to bend the other leg, bringing the heel towards the bottom. Lengthen the leg out long. And again, coming up into that little cobra. Lifting the chest away from the floor. Good job. Lower down. Let's go again. One time each side. Bending that leg. Lengthen the leg. Good. And lift into that cobra. One more time. Other side. And lift. Really nice. And then just coming back down to rest again. You can rest your forehead on your hands again. Or you can stay upon your elbows, whichever position works for you. We're going to just hold here for just a few more breaths. then from here we're going to push ourselves up and back into that rest position, into that child's pose. Looking your bottom back towards your heels, reaching those arms forwards. And while you're here, you can just move your towel or whatever you're using to the side so it's just out of the way. Stay in that child's pose, have a look at your hands, give yourself enough space because we're going to travel forwards. So when you're ready on your next inhale, come up, travel forwards. You can choose to stay at all fours or you can keep going forwards, lowering your hips towards the floor and lifting your chest. And then we're going to go back the other way, taking your bottom back towards your heels, back into that child's pose. And let's move with our breath. When you're ready, we're going to inhale as we come forwards. And we're going to exhale as we go back. Just move at your own pace. This is a really nice way to open out those hips, give those hips a good stretch. Let's do it one more time. And as you go back into that child's pose this time, we're going to just stay there for a few breaths. Good. Okay. So we need to grab our little spiky prickle balls now. We're going to stay on our front and we're going to put the prickle balls under the fronts of our thighs. So, probably best to come down first. And then it doesn't matter where, it can be kind of right in the middle, a little higher, lower, wherever. Just find wherever you can reach. Find somewhere that you can get those little balls underneath your thighs. Again, you can rest your head down on your hands. And we've got those legs out long. And we're going to again bend one knee. So let's have a pointed foot. So we're going to point those toes. And we're going to bring that leg in towards you. So bringing your heel towards your bottom with a pointed foot. And then we're going to pause there for a moment. And we're going to go for a flat foot. And we're going to lower the leg all the way back down. Same on the other side. So pointed foot as we bring the foot up towards our bottom. And then flat foot as you lower the leg down. And we're going to keep switching sides. So point your toes as you bring the leg in. And then flat foot as you lower the leg back down. Good. Pointed as you bring it in. And flat as you lower down. Keep going. Nice and slow. Nice and controlled. Good. Let's do one more on each side. And then just pausing there for a moment. We're going to just change this up a little bit. So let's do pointed foot again and then bring that leg in towards you. And then holding there in that pointed foot position, we're going to roll that thigh out so that the foot's going to kind of come across your body towards your opposite bum cheek. And then we're going to bring that leg back into centre, flat foot and lower it down. Same on the other side, so pointed foot as you bend the leg in, keep the point and kind of roll that foot across to the other side, so coming across your body, bring it back into centre, flat foot and lower it down. Again, we're just going to keep switching sides, pointed foot comes in, keep it pointed as you roll the foot across, back in, flat foot and lower. Good job, keep going. Do one more on each side. I forgot to flatten my foot as I lowered. Hold it when you finish that last one here, just for a moment. And then see if you can just gently rock your hips from side to side, so you're just kind of rolling across those balls. The balls are kind of rolling across your thigh. Just a little bit of movement there. push ourselves up and back into child's pose again, kicking your bottom back towards your heels. And then coming up. So we're going to go back onto our back and we're going to use the soft Pilates ball this time. So come back down onto your back. It's going to go under our pelvis. So press it into your heels to lift your bottom and then slide in that ball underneath. And then just taking a moment for your body to just kind of stabilise. Nice and wide through your chest and shoulders, hands wherever is comfortable for you. And then we're going to start to tilt our pelvis forwards and backwards. So just finding that little tilt. Good. Again, just a really nice little release. And then coming to rest kind of in that centre position so your pelvis is fairly flat. We're going to take it into a single knee fold. So take a breath here, and as you exhale, let's bring one leg into that tabletop position. And then lowering that leg down. So we're going to be using our breath. So as you exhale, you're going to bring your leg up. As you inhale, you're going to lower that leg down. We're going to keep switching sides. Good. And then depending on how stable you feel, we can take that into toe taps. And so just having your arms down on the floor just for a little bit of stability, but bringing one leg into tabletop and then bringing that second leg up as well. Now if you feel too wobbly, stay with the single knee fold. Otherwise, we're going to lower one leg down just to tap your toes gently on the floor and then coming back up into tabletop. Same on the other side, lower it and lift it. Breath-wise, we inhale as we lower, we exhale as we lift. Just as long as you're breathing, it doesn't really matter if you're breathing the other way. It just helps to find that connection with those abdominals because the work here is on lifting that leg back in, and that's kind of where we want to be using our abdominals. Good. Let's do one more on each side. And then lowering the legs gently one at a time, back down onto the floor. Holding here. We're going to take it into that little leg slide again here. So when you're ready, sliding one leg out long on the floor. Once that leg is out straight, we're going to push out through the heel, pulling the toes towards you, and then slide that leg back in. Other side, lengthen the leg out long. Push out through the heel, pulling the front of the foot towards you, and slide that leg back in. Now, if you feel nice and stable, keep going with the legs. You can add the arm, opposite arm reaches overhead, and then gently comes back in. If you feel too wobbly to add the arms, just stay with the legs, otherwise we're going to add that arm reach, and back in. And if you're feeling super stable, you could do both arms together, reaching overhead. And come back in. If two arms is just a step too far, stay with single arm, or stay with just the legs. I find some days you're more stable than others. Let's do one more with each leg. And then when you finish, finish that last one, just pause again in centre. Pushing into your heels to lift your bottom so you can take that ball away, and then just lowering your bottom back down onto the floor. Maybe choosing to straighten your legs out long again. Enjoying that sensation again of softness, relaxation through the pelvis, through the low back, as we just take some breaths here. When you're ready, we're going to bend the knees and bring the knees in towards our chest. Just give your knees a little hug again and just roll gently side to side. Okay, so we're going to find our little spiky balls and we're going to pop them under our bottom, one on each side. And once you've got those little spiky balls there, we're going to just gently swing our hips from side to side. And you might need to keep adjusting and moving those little spiky balls around, so feel free to move them as and when you need to. Sometimes you find one rolls out, needs to go back in. Move them higher, lower, closer together, further apart, whatever you want. As we just gently swing our hips here from side to side. Good. Alright, pausing in the centre. So let's take it into that knee drop this time. So keeping your foot down on the floor, allow one knee to just roll out to the side and then to come back in towards the sky. Let's use our breath. Inhale as that knee drops out and then exhale as it comes back in. Inhale, knee drops out. And exhale to come back in. Keep going. This time as your knee drops out, pause there. And then we're going to pick that leg up, so lifting the foot away from the floor, bringing that knee towards your shoulder, and then lowering that leg down and draw it back in. Obviously it's not going to touch your shoulder. Other side, knee drops out, knee lifts, lowers, and comes back in. Let's again use our breath. So inhale, knee drops out, exhale, knee comes up, inhale, back down to the floor, and then exhale, back to the sky. Inhale, knee drops out. Exhale, lift the knee. Inhale, lower the leg back down. And exhale, knee comes back in. Keep going. Good. So really nice for the hip mobility as well. Let's do one more on each side. And when you finish that last one, let's just go again to gently swing in our hips, gently side to side. And then pausing in centre there. So we're going to cross one leg over the other. We're going to cross the legs tightly together. So it's not our number 4 position. We've got the thigh touching thigh and we're in that cross leg position. And we're going to just gently rock those knees now, side to side. So gently, gently, as good as feels okay for you. So you don't have to go big if that's not a happy position for you today. Just gently side to side. Now this position just kind of feels a little bit of a strange one. Okay, so whichever way your legs crossed over, we're going to roll the same side. So I've got my left leg on top and I'm going to roll my hips or roll my knees to the right, yeah? So the foot that's crossed over is closest to the floor. It doesn't really matter, we're going to do the other side, but I always like to kind of go that side first. So we're just going to hold it there. Feel like that's the side that gets the most weight, so we want to check that that one's okay. And we're just holding there for a few breaths. Our legs are kind of rolled to that one side. And while we're there, let's do a little arm angel with the opposite side. So whichever way your legs have gone to, the opposite arm is going to slide along the floor. Palm faces up, taking that arm up towards your head, sliding it out along the floor and down towards your hip. Let's just do that a couple more times. Little floor angel with your opposite arm. And then as your arm kind of comes back down this time, we're going to roll our legs into centre, keeping them crossed. Let's roll them to the other side. Now that kind of feels a little bit strange on that side. We're going to do the arm angel again on the other side this time. So arm slides along the floor and up towards your head. And then slides back down again. One more little arm angel here. And then as your arm comes down, we're going to bring those legs back in through centre. We're going to uncross those legs. Remember which one you did, because we need to do the other side in a moment. But let's take a moment again to swing those hips, just to release off. You need to reposition those spiky balls too. And then we're going to cross over the other way this time. So other leg crosses over again, thigh to thigh, getting those legs firmly crossed. And let's again just gently roll side to side here a few times first. And then again, whichever side your foot is at, the one that's off the floor, we're going to hold at that side. That's probably a better way to describe it. So roll to the side. And again, we're going to do those opposite arm angels. So whichever way your legs have gone, the opposite arm is going to do our little angel. Just move nice and slow. One more little angel. And then as your arm comes down this time, just pause for a moment there first. And then rolling back in through centre, take your knees over to the other side. Again, that's the side that kind of feels a little bit weird, but hold there. And then let's again do those little arm angels on the opposite side. And just sliding that arm out along the floor, down towards your hip. Good. And as your arm comes down towards your hip again this time, you're going to bring those knees back in through centre. We're going to uncross those legs. And again, just a little swing side to side. Okay. We need to grab our strap now. Freddie's run off with mine and fallen asleep on it, so I'm just going to have to disturb him. We're going to keep the balls under our bottom. Fred. Good boy. sorry. He was fast asleep laid on the strap. So, spiky balls onto your bottom, and we're going to have one leg in the strap. And we're going to keep the other leg bent, so our free leg is bent. And we've got the other leg in the strap. And then we're going to bend and straighten this leg that we've got in the strap. So we're going to bend the knee down towards you and then press the foot away. So again, bend and straighten that leg. And I want you to create some resistance so you can use this strap. So as you're bending that leg in, it's almost like you're trying to push, you're still trying to straighten the leg out, but the strap's bending it in. And then as you straighten the leg out, again, like the strap's resisting it, so you're almost like you're trying to stop it from doing it. So it's making it much harder to bend and straighten that leg. Yeah. Let's do one more like that. And then as you straighten that leg this time, we're going to keep it straight. We're going to push out through the heel, pulling the front of the foot towards us, and we're going to lower that leg down towards the floor. And then we're going to lift it back up towards the sky. And we're going to keep it moving, so nice and soft now. Just keep that leg moving to the floor, to the sky. And then as you come up towards the sky this time, we're going to hold it there. And we're going to do side to side, so taking that leg out to the side and bringing it across. And again, just nice and gentle. Good. And then as you take that leg out to the side this time, we're going to do that little swooping arc. So we're going to go out to the side and then swoop it down towards the bottom of your mat and then back out to the side. So it's just like a little arc, shape down and then out to the side. Down and out to the side. Good. Last one. As it comes out to the side this time, we're going to bring that leg back up towards the sky. And we're going to switch over and pop the other leg into the strap. Okay. So we're going to do the same on this side. Again, we're going to resist. As we bend that leg in and then straighten that leg out. Remember that we're resisting with the strap. It's almost like we're trying to stop it bending in, and we're going to try and stop it from straightening out. Good. One more like that. And then as you straighten that leg out this time, we're going to lower it down towards the floor, down towards the bottom of your mat, and then sweep it back up towards the sky. Down and up. And then as it comes up towards the sky this time, we're going to take it out to the side, and we're going to again do side to side. And then we're going to do our little arc again. So taking it out to the side, swooping it down to the bottom of your mat, and then back out to the side. Little arc. Really nice. And then as it comes out to the side this time, we're going to bring it back up to the sky. And then we're just going to bend that leg in and get rid of your strap. I bet you forgot that you've got those prickly balls under your bottom, haven't you? Just to get a little side to side, a little swing, and then we're going to take those balls away. lower your bottom down. Straighten those legs out long. Where's your bottom gone? Just hold here for a few breaths. Okay, we're going to do our cranial release now, where we're going to release all the way down the spine, right from the crown of the head to the tail. So your two prickle balls, and they're going to go behind your head. So bending your knees back in as well, so feet flat on the floor, knees are bent, it puts your spine in a really nice position. And then we're trying to have both of those balls together behind your head. And remember, if they start moving around, you can always hold them there. Try and get them under your hair if you've got long hair, or pop a towel over them, just something to try and hold them in position. And then all you need to do here is just relax. Slowing your breath down. And trying to find that softness through your body. So doing that little scan here, so checking your forehead. Do you have those little frown lines between your eyebrows? Can you soften your forehead? Maybe it feels nice to close your eyes here, allowing your eyes to soften. Allowing your face to just relax, all of the muscles of your face, your jaw, letting your teeth part slightly, letting your tongue rest against the roof of your mouth, letting your neck and your shoulders feel heavy. Letting your arms just relax, maybe taking those arms out slightly to your sides, palms facing up so that those arms can be heavy. Letting your elbows be soft, your wrists soft. Soft through your hands. Let your belly relax. And even though we've got our knees bent, we're not having to hold, we're not having to press our feet into the floor. Our legs are just stacked. And if you feel like it's effort here to keep those legs in that position, you can let your knees roll in towards each other so that those knees are together, so that those legs can be fully relaxed. And we're going to just hold here for a couple more breaths before we start to move those balls down. And remember, as we do the cranial release, if there's a position that doesn't feel nice to you, you can go back to the one before or move on to the next one. If there's a position that just feels so nice that you don't want to move, then feel free to stay there for as long as you want to. When you feel ready, we're going to move those balls down now. We're going to move them down to our neck. They're going to still stay together, the balls, right in the centre of your neck. Allowing your head to roll back, your chin will probably lift slightly towards the sky. And then let your arms come back down to the floor. And allow yourself to relax here. It's so lovely just lying here, just focusing on the breath, and I can just hear the rain outside and it just feels so lovely. I could just stay here all day. Let's do a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to move those balls down again. So they're just going to come down slightly now to where your neck and your shoulder meets. So just at those trapezius muscles where they do tend to get a little bit tight, so just just tuck slightly under. Now if having your head down to the floor here just doesn't feel nice for you and you don't like that sensation of your head kind of rolling back, then feel free to pop something under your head. You can use your folded towel, you can use anything that you've got, your soft Pilates ball, just anything to just make you feel that you can just relax. And then we're going to move those balls again now. So this time they're going to go out a little bit wider and they're going to go right to where your arm and your shoulder meet. So they're not on the arm, they're just to the inside. So when we start to do around the shoulders, because this is where we tend to hold a lot of tension, a lot of tightness, often you can get that sensation of feeling like you're pressing on a bruise. That's okay. Sometimes you can get like little strange sensations like popping or crackling. That's okay. Can make you feel a little bit nauseous sometimes, and if you can bear with it, then do. It's just your body letting go. So if it's bearable, then stay with it. But obviously, if it's too much for you, you can always move. Like say, go back a step or go forwards, or just come off and lie down. The thing that we never want is that electric shock sensation, that nerve sensation. And if you ever do get that, then just move the balls away. Noticing how that feels, whether it feels the same on both sides, whether it feels different on one side. Scanning through your body, noticing whether it's making you want to grip, clench your teeth, bring your shoulders up to your ears, anywhere that it's making you want to create a little bit of tension, and seeing if you can let that go. Let's move those balls again. We're going to bring them back together in the centre between your shoulder blades. So the balls are together kind of between your shoulder blades. Ish. And again, if having your head this far back towards the floor is not a happy place, then feel free to put something under your head. It's always about what feels good to you right now, and although it might feel good one day, it might not the next. So you've always got to be just really mindful of what your body's telling you that it wants, what it needs. And I'm going to pop a towel under my head now. Again, just notice how it's feeling, whether it feels the same on both sides. Any sensations through your body. Nothing exists in isolation, so everything's connected. And sometimes when you release a trigger point on one place, you'll feel it somewhere else. So quite often when we're doing the shoulders, you might find that you get sensations in your neck, in your jaw, maybe in your hands, maybe somewhere completely different. Maybe somewhere you would know it, maybe your toes. But it's all good. Alright, let's move those balls again. Let's take them down now. Let's go one on either side in the fleshy bit of your back, so between your back of your rib cage and your pelvis, where we've just got that soft, I've lost one of my balls like this, that soft bit, and then just try and relax there. So this isn't like the most comfortable position, it might not feel the best, especially if you were celebrating and having a few last night, because this is around your kidney area. So if ever you do have like you know, a little bit of a urinary tract infection, you probably don't want to be near your kidneys, or if you've had a heavy night and you're feeling a little bit worse for wear, maybe not the best time to apply any pressure here, so you can always skip this if you're feeling that way. Otherwise we're going to hold here for a few breaths. I never stay as long in this area, just because for most people it doesn't really feel that nice. However, because it is an area that a lot's happening with, a lot of happening around our back, and these muscles around this area do tend to hold a lot of tension, so it is nice to give them a little bit of attention. But let's move them down slightly, so they're just going to go just on the edge of your pelvis. So you know where you have those two little dimples right at the bottom of your back, at the top of your bottom of your back, you kind of find in that area there. So you're just on your pelvis and have the balls there, so they're just slightly apart. Again, this is an area that tends to often feel bruised when you put a little bit of pressure there. Doing that little scan again through your body, so noticing whether it's making you want to clench your teeth, or shoulders are coming up, or are you kind of compensating somewhere? Is putting pressure here making your body hold? Okay, we're going to move one more position. We're going to take one ball away, and we're going to have one ball right in the centre of your pelvis. So it's on that sacrum, on that tailbone. Okay, we're just going to allow our body to sink down here. Alright, when you're ready, we're going to take that ball away. Press into your hips to lift your bottom, taking that ball out. And then lengthen your legs out long. Lie completely flat on your mat. Roll your shoulders open. And let's again just take a moment here just to integrate the sensations. Hopefully your spine feels really relaxed now and you feel like you're almost completely flat on the floor. All the way from your head, through your shoulders, down through your back of your ribs, your lower back, your pelvis, your tailbone, everything is relaxing down, feeling heavy. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, just bending those knees in and then bringing your knees into your chest one at a time. Give your knees a little hug. Let's just gently rock side to side here. And then when you feel ready, let's come on up to find a seated position. Just for a moment. Just roll your shoulders. And the other way. And then gently turn your head side to side. Hopefully it feels all nice and free and easy to move around. And that is you all done.